listening to
Tipsy Book Reads.
I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Jess.
And we're
tipsy.
Too many books on my TBR. Too many books on my TBR. Yeah. This podcast is like a book club for the antisocial. We make a drink inspired by the book we read and talk crap about life and fictional characters. We really hope you listen and drink along.
Side effects of listening to this podcast may include reading vivaciously, extreme bouts of laughter, tipsiness from craft cocktails, talking shit about life and fictional characters. Listen at your own risk.
Just a warning, this podcast is explicit. We are all over 21 and there are spoilers. We warned ya. Hi.
Hello.
We haven't told them what book we're reading.
We have not.
It's a secret, but now it's not. You guys ready? This book has freaking been requested probably 100 times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at least. Every time we put up a thing, someone's like, you should read this. You should read this. You should read this. Well, we're doing it. A Court of Thorns and Roses.
I'm excited.
Full disclosure, I've already read this.
I have not.
But it's nice to do a reread because I have not read it since I read it the first time.
Okay, cool. And I hadn't read it because Bekah said I had to read all of Throne of Glass before I could read it. And that was like a task.
And here's the thing. This is how much she loves you guys. She read the entire series like in December and halfway through January.
Yeah, it was wild.
8 books.
It was a quick turnaround.
8 that should actually be qualified as like 10.
My God, that last one.
It's long. It's a long one, but she a cute one.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, it was so good. It's so good. She's going to write a little bloggy blog on all her thoughts on the series. It is personally my favorite out of Sarah's books. Hands down. It's so good. One of the things that I saw a TikToker, and it was in passing, so I had no intention of talking about them on the podcast, so I have no idea what their username is or anything, but they talked about how they liked this less. And he was speaking about, he just finished Throne of Glass series and loved it so much, and then he was getting to this, and he was like, okay, what is this?
Right.
And he put it, the minute he got through the second book, halfway through the second book, he goes, oh, this is a romance with fantasy. This is not a fantasy book with romance, which is what Throne of Glass is. It's a very heavy fantasy with romance sprinkled in there. Pretty heavily, but not like this. And so I thought that was the perfect description. So it's definitely one of those that depends on what your opinions are, whether you like heavy romance or heavy fantasy.
Which I feel like we've been having this conversation a lot lately with each other and with other people, because I feel like personally we're both more fantasy and then romance, at least lately. Mm-hmm. Me, 100%. I will read fantasy with no romance in it.
Same.
But if it has some romance, okay, cool.
I love a slow burn.
Yeah, but if
Where's my slow burns at? I just feel like lately it's been like, oh, you're hot, let's jump into bed, which time and place.
Sure.
But I'm like, where's my oh my God.
We need some tension.
She lightly touched my hand and my heart dropped.
Yes.
And then we didn't talk for 5 more months. I don't know.
My favorite thing is the reactions of it's reading smut in public and you're just
dead face, deadpan.
But then she touched my finger and you're kicking your legs and just laughing hysterically, yes. Giggling. But yeah, so I'm interested to see how this is going to go, just because I am more fantasy. Mm-hmm. And I will say I just finished Throne of Glass. So going into this, bad. I'm oh, this is very different,
mm-hmm. It's different, but a lot of the context of how she world builds and the world itself is really important to have. There are some things that we haven't gotten to yet that are Easter egged in here that you'll understand more if you had read that other book. Now I'll just be honest, they're not gonna just say Aelin did that, whatever. That doesn't happen.
Right.
Just so you know, so you're prepared.
Okay.
She doesn't crisscross like that. I wish.
Dang, it's not like Marvel.
So, yeah, I think I liked this book. And then the next book I loved.
Okay.
So that's just kind of a preface, which just so that you guys know, because we have so many amazing books coming up on the podcast, we will not be reading the whole series. But the the Willow Club book club podcast,
Yeah.
they did read it on their series, and I've been saving all their videos.
Miss Willa's book club, is that it?
Yes. Because I definitely want to watch theirs, but I was waiting till we did ours so that I didn't like accidentally crisscross any. Let's see. Where is it? Oh no.
Yeah, Miss Willa's book club pod.
Yeah. They did read the whole series, and they're reading through Crescent City too. So.
I did see that.
Which brave on them. Wow. It's heavy stuff.
Dang,
It's
yeah.
thick. But anyways, so but read this with us.
Or reread it if you've
reread
already
it.
read it.
That's fine. It's a perfect time because she's got other books coming out soon. So, what you drinking?
We are drinking.
Oh, she's full. Oh my god.
You might want to lean forward and sip it.
What are we drinking?
So it is Spring Court Fairy Wine. Yummy.
Stunning. Can I not just go up to like a bartender and be like, I want Spring Court Fairy Wine? Jessica's version.
I just feel like we've been drinking lots of fairy wine lately. I'm here for it. But
This is so good.
so I made chamomile tea and honey, and then I use vodka, elderflower liqueur, lemon juice, and edible sparkles to make it like magical, fairy-like. We love a good fairy wine. I was just thinking like very springy, spring honey and chamomile and
Perfect.
lemon.
It's a little cold. Not us
Refreshing.
Floridians and long sleeves and beanies. And it's like 60 degrees.
You know what? I was also having a bad hair day, okay?
Yeah, no, this needs a wash.
But yeah, just go up to a bar and order it and see what happens.
I love that. Honestly, one day we're going to have, I'm just putting this out here. We're going to have a book literary bar.
100%.
You watch.
And we'll have drinks named after us. When I went on my cruise, we named a drink after me, and the bartender knew what it was the whole time. It was amazing.
Also, if we keep, I was going to say, if we keep looking over to off camera, it's because we have an audience.
We have
tonight.
a live audience.
Our single audience member. Mary, she does all of our stickers and designs. She's the best.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, cheers.
Cheers. Clink.
Oh yeah, it has like a sugar lemon rind rim, so it wasn't a very good clink.
That's so good. That's really dangerous. Honestly, I could stick a straw in it.
Yum.
Goner. Yeah.
Yum.
That's fantastic. So for this book, we did bring back our red flags.
But I couldn't find the little poll for it.
Which is okay.
It's fine.
If you're new here, whenever we talk about a character that has red flags, we wave the flag. But I feel like it should be more of an audience, like, what's the word? Interaction. And every time we do that, you should take a drink.
Yeah.
Just saying. Drinking
I'm here
game.
for that.
So. All right. Should I give a little spiel?
Go for it.
I learned my lesson from last episode in which I took no notes. And I was all vibes. And when I was editing, I realized I had so many more thoughts and ideas when I was reading. And I didn't say them. And I just felt like it was a poopy episode for me. So that's why I took notes. And they're also upside down, but that's fine. Okay, so synopsis. A human kills a wolf. Oops. Gets taken under a treaty to the Fey world. Frowny face. And a lot of shit happens. That's my synopsis.
Love it.
Thank you.
10 out of 10.
Anything
That's
to
spot
add?
on.
There's no like in your face romance yet.
Mm-mm.
But there's a little bit of tension.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings me to my first question. What do you think of Tamlin?
The whole ritual situation.
Fucking wild, right? Right? It's weird.
It's fucking weird. How do
It's
you just like wake
weird.
up and have breakfast the next morning? Like, oh, what are those bite marks fucking like it's a casual thing.
I have to say, I love her reaction to it though. Like she was ready to cover it up and be like, oh my God. And then she was like, you know what? If he couldn't control himself, I'm not going to control my own body.
Not my problem.
Yeah, not my problem. You can feel bad. And then he didn't. And I was like, oh, I don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely red flag behavior. That was wild.
The other thing that bothers me is he's always like, you can leave at any time. You can leave at any time. And then she leaves and he's like, where are you going? Who are you going with? What was your plan?
And then gets all butthurt when she's like, oh, I don't really feel like going out, and then like goes out hunting. Yeah, well, she didn't feel like going out with you, okay?
Yeah, right.
It's not all about you.
And then they're always saying like, you're safe here, but she's literally almost died 3 times. At this point, 3 times.
Yeah. Freaking wild.
It's crazy. But so you're not feeling Tamlin? Or kind of?
Well, like I was until the whole like, oh, I'm just gonna come to your room and bite you thing, and how Lucian was like,
get food. It's 2 a.m.
Literally midnight snack, and how Lucian was like, literally, you have to go back and lock your door because like he's gonna come after you.
How do you like Lucian?
I like him.
Me too. And his little fox mask.
Yes.
The mask, I forgot. Like I forgot totally about those. I don't know if I just hid them in my head.
Yeah.
Or what, but I was like, oh yeah, they all have straight up masks on.
So bizarre. It's very bizarre. I don't know, like I have mixed feelings about Tamlin right now because there's like for sure some good in him. Like he definitely helped Lucian out. Is that how you say his name?
I forgot, but I think so.
Okay.
Sorry if we say it wrong.
As far as like when he had his whole situation with his family and everything, like he took him in, and then he's also like he tried to save that other Fae, and like he spared her life instead of just like
he has good qualities.
Yeah, but also like he needs a lesson on consent.
Oh my God, 100%. That was wild. Like I started to get real nervous. I was like, Farrah, girl, you better get out of there. That's scary. But I want to know, like, number one, she knew that Wolf was Fae the whole time.
Literally,
she picked the arrow for that. Like she knew.
Like your gut is telling you something, honey. Yeah. Listen.
But I loved like the whole situation of her going, and a mercenary like bought it from her and was like, just so you know, like this is what's going on, and kind of like took time with her to be like, someone did this for me. I wonder who she is, because it just says mercenary. You know what I mean?
I mean, I feel like you know who it is.
No, I don't. I genuinely don't.
Oh, I did kind of feel like she would come up again, but does she not?
I unless I forgot, which very much well could be. I've read a lot of books and stuff.
Fair enough. But I did get the vibes that like she would come back. Also, like, I don't know. I feel like there's just so much that I don't know that like I've seen sprinklings of like I've heard the names like Nesta, like I know that she's more than just like you. I know. Like as of where I've gotten at this point, like you think she's just like done, but like I've heard the name enough that I know she's not just done. Like I know there's more.
It's so funny you say that because I went to go do my character breakdown and I started to write like Nesta and Elaine, and I was like, oh, that's right. I don't know anything about them at this point.
We really know nothing.
So I just wrote oldest, youngest. But I do know so much. Okay. How do you feel about that? Like her family just like straight up basically letting her carry the weight of their entire lives and then complaining. Like Nesta just complains whenever she's asked to do something. Like I know she has a lot of guilt and like frustration and anger towards her father. But then Elaine is just kind of like running in a field of roses.
Right.
And then you've got their dad. Like I know he has a hurt leg, but you joking?
Yeah.
Like he's delusional. He's quite delusional. And then even when I know it's very much like vibes of a Belle, Beauty and the Beast retelling, right?
Yeah.
It has those vibes.
It does.
The first time I read that, I think I texted Brie like 15 times and was like, this is literally Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
But the dad never even like offered in her place.
Mm-mm.
He
like hid.
So does he have that much confidence in her where he said, don't escape and don't come back. That was his whole plan, was like he had so much confidence in her to escape. And that's why he didn't offer in his place.
I think he's just weak. Like, I think he's just a scaredy cat.
He is a scaredy cat. That's great.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, this is wild. The sisters, I don't know, it was kind of giving like evil stepsister vibes of like
Right.
them not wanting to do anything and just like letting her literally do everything for them.
Yeah.
Like they would have been dead if
Yeah.
it was not for Feyre.
Feyre. Yeah. I will say other characters coming up's names wrong because I read them and then I heard her pronunciation of the author and I was like, absolutely not.
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
I know you wrote this, but you're wrong.
So, but Feyre. Oh no, I lost my train of thought.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's not your fault. I was gonna bring something else up. Oh, how crazy was it that so Nesta has this potential guy,
Right.
and she's just like, I'm gonna marry him, blah blah blah, and then she doesn't give her a real reason, just that like you shouldn't do it. And then right when she's getting taken away, Feyre's like, oh, by the way, his dad beats his mom and they don't do anything about it. So you're next if you get married. And just like
Drops that ball.
or mic drop.
Yeah. And also like, I mean, I feel like she kind of had to because I feel like before when she didn't know she had to go away, like she could have like continued to like sow that seeds in a small way, but then she's like, oh shit, I'm being taken away. Like here's this giant like info dump of like literally this is why I don't do this. So
she was just like saving everyone's lives once again. So in that like manner, I totally agree with Tamlin of just that one part where he's like, did anyone take care of you? And she was just like, no, but I don't want your pity. Like, thanks, it's just what I had to do.
Right. And also like the whole her thinking they're not able to lie and then they are thing.
But do you think, I know, isn't that crazy? But then she was like, but are they lying about it? But are they not lying about it and something in their sentence is correct? And that's why they can get away with it.
Right.
Her like red theory tape trying to find what they're saying. I don't trust them.
It's wild. It's wild.
It's crazy.
And also like all his big promises of that her family's being like well taken care of.
How do you know? I know. I agree. I love her and Lucian's I feel like I'm saying it wrong, but I don't care anymore. Friendship that's brewing.
Yeah, me too. But also when
Searle.
Yeah. And he's
crazy.
like, by the way, I hesitated, but not too long.
She would have been dead.
Also, like, he really told on himself there.
He did. But you know what? Honesty.
Yeah.
Honesty.
Yeah, but I was like, dang, she would have never known.
We would have never known.
All these freaking, what's the one monster, the Fuka or something?
Oh my gosh. These monsters are crazy.
The Puka or the Fuka? And then the Bog?
Yeah. Which I always think of Hunger Games. But it's not bog, is it? It's hop.
No, I just kept calling it Bog in the Hunger Games.
I
and
think
like,
we both did.
yeah, I'm like, out in the bog. It's not the bog. Isn't a bog like a swamp?
I don't know what it is.
I think a bog is a swamp.
Okay.
It's
is
also
not
a
where they're at.
monster in ACOTAR, apparently.
They're in the spring court. It's crazy. So all these monsters are getting through. Like, what is happening? What freaking thing is letting them through?
It's scary.
Their magic is gone? What?
Yeah, or like limited
She
at
find a
least.
rose?
I feel like I read so many like fantasies lately that it's like starting to like mess with my brain.
Just don't read anything for a week. A week.
Okay, just like palate cleanse.
Yeah, seriously. Watch Percy Jackson. Catch up on that.
I need to. I need to for sure.
I didn't set my timer for 20 minutes. Look, it's up. So this is saying 20 minutes here. You want to take a little break?
Sure.
We'll be right back. We're back. And also, this episode is brought to you in part by Fern and Fable because they're a lovely bookstore. And we have an event coming up with them.
Yes.
So stay tuned about that. Where were we? Just red flags all around?
Monsters.
So this the Cyril.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Oh my god, I just heard like Anna and Hans in my head. We finish each other's sandwiches.
That's what I was gonna say.
The like TikTok trend of Hans getting the ick has been.
Yep.
Anyways, back to the that she caught this freaking thing.
Yeah.
She's a beast.
She is a freaking beast.
She's a beast. She's a little girl. She's so tiny. She's 18.
Human,
and she caught this beast.
not like all the High Lord Fae being impressed by her.
Right? They're like, I'm sorry, you did what?
Also, like, you killed my friend, but also like you killed my friend. Like, how you killed a freaking Fae wolf? He was like a high Fae too, wasn't he? Or at least he was somebody
Fae,
powerful, somebody.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's crazy, right? Wow. It's wild. But so the Cyril, I don't know why I struggle with that word, tells her to stay with the high fae. Okay. So we find out that this whole time we didn't realize what's his face was high fae. Tampon. And all of TikTok refers to him as Tampon, by the way. So that's why I said that. And so we find out that she didn't know that, which is crazy. But how would she know that? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
she's like, how did I not know that? Why would you? You're literally not part of that world. Like, be a little understanding toward yourself.
Yeah.
That's scary. It says 0 hours left.
Is it going?
Yes, it is. Okay, let's just keep going.
Okay.
We can wrap it up.
Okay.
Our
Dang.
soundboard SD is just telling us that we need to stop recording soon.
Said, you're done.
So we're going to do a fast track of this, and we're so sorry. This will be a little mini-sode, I guess.
Yeah. I think out of everything that I've read so far, my favorite line is killing us is easier in pants.
Yes. Their understanding of her, like, wanting to kill. Like, I'm just curious. When are you going to use that knife on me?
Right? Him, like, being like, okay, here's this, but, like, don't stab me in the back with it.
Yeah.
Also, it was Tamlin that knew the whole time she took the kitchen knife, right?
Yeah.
And him trying to compliment her, like, oh, your hair is clean.
It's giving your cheekbones are defined. That's an inside joke. Sorry.
You have very defined cheekbones. Yeah, your hair is clean.
Yeah.
He's a great complimenter.
You know, I would love my hair is currently not clean. So if anyone was like close enough to notice that my hair was clean, you know what?
Go ahead and tell me. Lucian, like, coaching him, being like, this is not how we talk to pretty ladies.
Yeah. Pull yourself together, Tamlin. But also, like, he obviously knew something was going on during Tamlin's situation, because he had said to Farah, like, you need to go hide in your room.
Yeah.
He's going to go to you.
Yeah, he's going to smell you, and he's going to track you down.
Interesting. Okay. Who is the man she calls the most beautiful?
Right?
Like, she didn't say that about Tamlin. She literally looked up and said, this is the most beautiful man I've ever seen in my life.
Right? Which was he from Summer Court? What court? I think he said.
Don't know.
Oh, I thought he said. But also, she can't really see Spring Court's faces. So, like, she's like, maybe he's beautiful, you know?
So true. And then it's, like, right in the face, like, gorgeous. But, like, I need to see. And then he saved her. But, like, in the cutest little way of being like, oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Like, careful. But all hell broke loose after that. My God. Okay, so I wanted to know, like, who is that? Who is this woman that they keep referring to?
I don't know, but she took that poor Faye's wings.
It was awful. That was awful.
That was so sad.
Well, we got to see Farah being compassionate.
Oh my God, and so strong in that situation.
Mm-hmm. Awful. It's wild that so many Fae are dying, number one, because they're, like, immortal, basically. The food freaking sounds amazing in this place.
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow, that sounds freaking awesome. I think it was on my notes in particular But the very last chapter on 23, we leave off. Oh, we read through chapters 1 through 23. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We'll put it in the notes.
Yeah. So sorry. We leave off them in this like pool, right? Like the night pool, like the stars or something. It was like a lake.
Yeah.
And he's like, I should take you home. And she's falling asleep. What the? Her just falling asleep but being so tired. I did not like
weird.
that.
It was. Why is that pool drugged?
Why is that pool drugged? The first time I read that, I did not catch this at all.
Also, like I can show you the magic for a kiss.
Oh.
What?
It's giving middle school. Like, am I wrong? Like, that's wild. But now, so can she see everything?
I think it went away again,
Okay.
right? I think it was just like temporary. And then he's like, "Where's my kiss?" And she's like, kisses the back of his hand.
I love it.
Amazing. He did not specify where.
That's so true.
True queen.
I love that.
Yeah. So it's interesting.
It is. You'd keep reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, it's definitely very different coming from Game of Thrones. I mean, that's not.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
I mean, it is very different than Game of Thrones. It's very different than Throne of Glass.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, it is different because we had Aelin that was like a badass in your face, and she's a little bit more reserved.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She's still a badass.
Also
100%.
total badass.
But yeah, it's a huge. But it's cool to see that she can write so many different characters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
What do you think is going to happen?
I literally feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just because it's such a big series that, like, in the grand scheme of things, half of the first book is absolutely nothing. But I feel like I know nothing Jon Snow. Like,
yeah. Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to say anything because I know what happens.
Fair enough.
I said I can't do. Do you have a Hogwarts house for any of them?
Oh.
I only was able to figure out 2 of them.
Okay.
And I've read the whole series.
I think Lucian's a Hufflepuff.
That's what I put. I put Hufflepuff.
And then
I did Farrah.
Okay, Farrah. I don't feel like I know enough yet.
Okay. I put her as Gryffindor or Slytherin.
Okay. Yeah.
And I have nothing for Tamlin.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. To be determined.
So fair. What kept you home and what kept you up?
Oh, okay.
I have mine if you want me to go first.
Go for it.
What kept me home? I'm reading the 3rd Deadly Education, which I will be doing a blog on the 2nd one, and I will do a blog on the 3rd one because I'm obsessed, and I literally can't put it down. It's wild. The 2nd one was slower, 100%. But it ended on a cliffhanger that I was like not prepared for. What kept me up? I have empty. I did not put anything for what kept me up. Honestly, just the excitement of the book fair and all those things that are happening.
Yeah.
And this book, this Court of Thorns and Roses, for you to read it, kept me up.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so what kept me home was literally eating, sleeping, and breathing Throne of Glass for the last week to get through it in time to start this. And then what kept me up is, of course, prep for the book fair. And we just had a great author interview with the Fabled Fantasy Ladies and Elizabeth Helen. And then we're doing some other fun stuff with them. So it's been busy, but all good things and just things to look forward to. So, yeah.
Well, our next episode will be way more thorough than this. We do apologize, but we are on the time constraint as our micro SD card is about to run out.
We love technology.
We love that.
So be sure to follow us on everything, like, subscribe, and rate.
It stopped recording. Literally after I said that. Just say it loud.
Like, subscribe, rate at Tipsy Book Reads, wherever you get your podcasts.